What's going on, everybody? Dialerix TV 2 back with another video, and as you guys can see, I am sweating in this hot truck right now. But we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I truly appreciate you guys, and I will be doing a gift giveaway really soon. So make sure you leave your comments and drop your emails, all that stuff. Well, we're gonna play a game or something like that. Might go live. I don't know. But anyway, what we're gonna be discussing in today's video is Terrence Crawford. Will he continue to chase Errol Spence? Will he make his career be centered around a fight with Errol Spence? It doesn't seem that, it seems as though Terrence Crawford has ran out of options. It's been confirmed that Manny Pacquiao is not going to fight him, which everybody with common sense already knew that Manny Pacquiao was not going to fight Terrence Crawford. And you know, you have people with this notion that saying that they believe that Manny Pacquiao demanded $40 million from Terrence Crawford, but he took $20 million. He fought Keith Thurman, who I believe posed a bigger threat, because I feel like he has more power, which I'm gonna get into an article I read. It's an old article, just talking about younger fighters and how they use this new age thing as an excuse. You seen Canelo make the excuse, talk about, you know, he was too young for Floyd Mayweather. Once again, I'm a huge Canelo Alvarez fan, but I just feel as though you got to stop making excuses. You lost. There are fighters who were much younger than you, who were your age, and still were able to defeat older fighters past their primes, whether they were in their primes, etc. and so forth. But back to Terrence Crawford. Like I said, Terrence Crawford, you're not about to force me to believe, you're not going to lead me to believe that Manny Pacquiao somehow rejected 20-something million, or he, you know, was to ask for, he demanded $40 million from Terrence Crawford, but took upwards of 20-something million for Adrian Broner and Keith Thurman. I think he would have fought Terrence Crawford for just as much. So you're not about to get me to believe that that's what Manny Pacquiao demanded, and that's where the fight, it had to be $40 million, or the deal was done. Like it was, you know, the deal would fall through. So I just think that Manny Pacquiao, it's hard to do business with Bob Arum. I think it all comes down to Bob Arum. Of course, Terrence Crawford would want to fight. I think he would want to fight Manny Pacquiao, because Manny Pacquiao is still, you know, a global icon. You know, he has a lot of he's worldly recognized as one of the greatest fighters in the world, very high profile boxer. And I think that adding that name, including that name on your resume for Terrence Crawford, it, when you sit at the table, at, you know, the negotiation table, it's leverage to be able to negotiate a better deal. You know, if you wanted to pursue a fight with Errol Spence, because Errol Spence says he's the A side. If Errol Spence is the A side, he's going to demand more. So for me, I just feel as though like Manny Pacquiao just didn't want to do business with Bob Arum. That's all it came down to. And all the, you know, Abu Dhabi and fighting over in Dubai and all these other countries, India, I don't know. Bob Arum, I've showed you guys that Bob Arum is a pathological liar. He lies. He's a promoter. He knows how to sell. He knows how to sell things to you. He lies. He's going to say everything. Like Floyd Mayweather said, he was like, when I was with Bob Arum, I was the best fighter since Sugar Ray Leonard, since Muhammad Ali, since Sugar Ray Robinson, and so on and so forth. Now when I leave Bob Arum, I'm all these different names. Since he wanted to fly on his own, you know, spread his wings, leave the nest, he gets, you know, he gets disrespected by Bob Arum. So my thing is with, you know, Terrence Crawford, this is the bed you made, so you gotta lay in it. You know, you put yourself in this position. And will he duck Virgil Ortiz like he ducked Sean Porter? Will Terrence Crawford duck Virgil Ortiz like he ducked Sean Porter? And you got many people who gonna say, oh, Sean Porter didn't activate the mandatory. And as I said, I told you guys, they were going to use that as an excuse, because they knew that Sean Porter would reject the amount of money that Bob Arum was offering him. He knew that. If I offer him less than Amir Khan or offer him less than Kell Brook, then that's not going to make him want to fight me. So now it's going to make it changes the narratives. It's smoke and mirrors. Bob Arum is not new to this. He knows what he's doing. I knew it from miles away. I told you guys, look through the archives and you will see what I be talking about. But will Terence Crawford, because he's out of opponents, you know, he's limited on opponents. Who he's going to fight next? Who is he going to fight? I don't even think he's going to fight Vergil Ortiz, because once again, he's determining whether Vergil Ortiz is ready or not. Here I come. You can't, like, he's trying to decide whether he's ready or not, bro. Like, you can't, that, like, as I said with the article I read, and it showed that fighters reach their physical primes once they get about the ages 34, 35. They talk about how Bernard Hopkins fought Antonio Tarver as he got older. They talked about how, what's his name? George Foreman was like 45 when he faced Michael Moore, who was 27 years old at the time. And I already told you guys about Mike Tyson, how he was like 22, 21 at the time when he fought Larry Holmes and when Muhammad Ali was young. So you using age as an excuse. Even with Canelo, it's just that Floyd Mayweather was just a master strategist in that ring. He's just such a great fighter, and people do everything they can to discredit Floyd Mayweather. It doesn't matter when Canelo faced Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather is going to always win, because he know. Go look at the Andre Berto breakdown of when he fought Floyd Mayweather, and just look how Floyd just paid attention to every single detail in the ring. He was a mastermind when it comes to that square circle, bro. Like, he's the greatest fighter, in my opinion, of all time. So it's not for Terence Crawford to decide when Vergil Ortiz is ready. You got to fight somebody. And that's why I say I think that Terence Crawford is going to lose, because they're trying so hard to avoid fighting tough fighters, tough competition. And it's going to end up biting them in the bottom, because it's like you're going to try so hard to face these guys that you overlook, these tomato cans, and you're going to end up getting in there with somebody that you're going to feel like you're better than. And that's another thing. Terence Crawford just overvalued himself. He has this overestimation of himself. Like, I think because he see the rankings and him being listed as pound for pound the best fighter in the world, he believes that right there is a bargaining tool. He thinks that right there should be used as leverage, when the people who have a clear mind and people who can see things, you know, from a chess or just from a logical standpoint, they're going to analyze your record and analyze what you have done at the welterweight division. And they're going to compare that with other fighters, with Errol Spence, with Manny Pacquiao. And you can't demand certain things, bro. You haven't faced a level of great competition yet. You got to do what you got to do, bro. And you're not taking the necessary steps that needs to be taken to be considered the best pound for pound. And they keep saying Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford is the best fighting the best. It's the best fighting. No, it's not. If it was the best fighting the best, Errol Spence would be fighting himself, because he's going out there and facing the best competition while Terence Crawford isn't. It's unfair. It's unfair to Errol Spence and what he's building. And that's why I said that Errol Spence is making great chess moves. You know, he's making great moves when it comes to outside of the ring, and him having you know, Al Heyman, you know, with him, because he's able to by him having Al Heyman on his side, he's able to make great moves. But anyway, I'm about to go ahead and put some coolant in my truck, because this, you know, it's time to get it moving. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, subscribe. I'm out.